with, and what foods pair well with them. So I encourage you this evening to do that as well. Just really immerse yourself in these 4 wines, because I'm sure a lot of you haven't tried these wines. So let's get started. So the 2019 Portage White by Lakeside Cellars. Let's just pour about an ounce or 2 in our glasses.
And I forgot to mention right at the very start, people, you need to understand that we're tasting room associates. We are not sommeliers, so we're going to try to make this light and fun.
Mm-hmm. So the 2019 Portage White, this is a blend. It's 71% unoaked Chardonnay, 29% Sauvignon Blanc. It was produced, kind of designed to be a summer sipper. It gets really hot here in Soyuz, and it's really nice to have a nice, just crisp glass of white wine. So that's what this was designed to be. This particular wine, I like to serve it, a couple degrees warmer than fridge temperature. I find with some white wines, if they're too cold, it kind of masks the aromas and the flavors. So for me, I like it just a couple degrees warmer than fridge temperature. So everybody have their wine. So we're gonna smell our wine and just see what aromas we can find, what we can identify with. So definitely for me, I get white peach. I get a little bit of sweetness like honey. You might also notice maybe some lemon peel and some nectarine. So it smells amazing. I love the smell of this wine. So let's go ahead and take a taste. So you just want to take a couple of sips and coat the whole inside your mouth. Definitely, for me again, I get the white peach. I get a little bit of lime. And you might also notice maybe some grapefruit, some pineapple. How about you, Elliot? What are you tasting?
White wine.
White wine. It's got a really nice acidity on this one too. Just that little tiny bit of sourness, which I can appreciate, because it just keeps it fresh and bright. I don't like white wines that don't have that little bit of acidity. I just find them really dull and flat. So I really like this wine. So this one pairs really well with your typical white meats, your chicken, your fish, your pork. It's also great with spicy foods. And for your charcuterie this evening, if you have a nice mild soft cheese like a brie or camembert, that would go lovely with it. So, sip on your wine for a moment and enjoy some of your cheese on your charcuterie. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Lakeside Cellars. So Lakeside Cellars is a fairly new winery. It's been open for 3 years for tastings. It's family owned by Harbans and Harkesh Dhaliwal, their son Ricky and Ricky's wife Danielle. Lovely family to work for sure. They're longtime farmers in the valley. They started out with orchards and in the 1980s. So in 2000s, they could see what was going on in the valley with all the wineries popping up. And there was a real demand for grape growers. So they kind of started thinking, we should probably get on this. So that's what they did. And they did that for a few years. And then they thought, we're growing these amazing grapes. We should maybe open up our own winery. So that's what they did. They just needed the perfect location for the winery, and they found it in Osoyoos, right on the southeastern side of Osoyoos Lake, right on Lakeshore Drive. So this property, 14-acre parcel, was quite well known in Osoyoos. It was first owned by the first European settler in Osoyoos. His name was John Haynes. And John Haynes, what was I going to say? Sorry, first European settler, John Haynes. So he built his, sorry, I'm nervous, as you can tell. I'm just like, anyways.
Drink some wine.
I got to drink some wine. So John Haynes had his home on the land, and the Dhaliwal family, decided they were going to build their or use his home. I'm so sorry. Use their home for the tasting room. Unfortunately, the structure was too badly deteriorated, so they're unable to use it. And they built a new tasting room, which will be open this summer. So in the meantime, we've been doing the tastings in the barrel room, and that's been fantastic. I mean, there's nothing more authentic than, you know, doing wine tastings in the barrel room. So that's just a little bit about the winery. So I hope you enjoyed the first wine.
So moving on, these wines, the whites for sure, you can recap them. They will last probably another week or so in your fridge if you choose not to drink it all this evening. But if you do, remember there's 4 bottles of wine, and if you drink all 4 tonight, you know what kind of night you're going to have, or maybe tomorrow what it's going to be like. So it's okay to put the caps back on and put those ones back in the fridge. So if we're ready, we're going to move on to the first intersection white, and it is our 2016 Riesling. So our 2016 Riesling is this is a really, really fun wine. And when Laz and us started talking about which wines to choose and to have some fun, this wine came to mind right away. This Riesling is as close to a German Riesling as you're going to find. It is very nice, refreshing wine. So when we pour this one, so I want you to open it. I want you to only pour an ounce or 2. And then what I want you to do is I want you to really open this one up, really open it up before you put your nose into the glass. And when you put your nose into the glass, what you're going to find with this wine is you're going to go, Elliot, what are you making us drink here? It smells like I'm at a construction zone with hot asphalt, burnt rubber, petroleum spills. It is a very pungent wine. That's actually a characteristic of a very good Riesling. So let's just give it a good swirl, open it up, and put your nose deep in the glass and take a really good smell. And you're gonna smell the petroleum, the burnt rubber, minerality, that kind of stuff. It doesn't smell very, very nice. However, this wine, when you taste it, and go ahead and taste it, what you're gonna find is it's like going into the fridge, getting a nice green, cold, crisp apple, nice apple taste. You're going to get a little zest of lemon or lime in there as well. Really, really nice, refreshing wine for a patio around here. This one pairs well with soft cheeses as well. It's great for a salad, seafoods, pastas like cream sauce pasta, that kind of thing. It's quite nice. And the other thing that we tell people is if you're a beer drinker and you feel bloated, you know what? This is a nice alternative to beer every now and again. And that's coming from a guy that's, some of you know what kind of a beer drinker I am. I do like my beers, and I don't mind having one of these after work. So while you're enjoying that one, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our winery. So Intersection was purchased by Bruce Smith in 2005. It was a cherry orchard and a cherry packing plant. From 05 to 09, they were knocking down cherry trees and planting I believe we have 9 different varieties of grapes on the property now. It's just about 11 acres, and we're boxed in by Highway 97, Road 8, the canal in behind us, and then Ricky's cousin owns the orchard just to the north of us. 2009, they started producing wines. We were not an estate winery yet. And what an estate winery means, because you're going to find wineries and you're going to find estate wineries. So an estate winery is a winery that grows and produces their own grapes. They do not import or buy grapes from others, but they can sell and export their grapes. So from 09 to 12, They didn't have enough production, so it was just a winery and they were buying grapes to make enough wine. By 12, they were producing enough to become an estate winery. So in 12, when they started producing some of these wines, 1 year later, we were getting into winning awards. And I'm going to get back to that story when we get back to the Reds. So at this point in time, Laz or Kim, did you guys want to jump in with some of your auction stuff? Or
well, actually, some people have some questions. One of them was, as taste and smell is so intertwined, how does this wine smell like rubber but taste so wonderful?
That's the crazy thing about this. That is actually the true characteristic of a really good Riesling is the grape, and it was neat this year. I was there when we were there for the crush, and it is a very unique grape. It actually looks like a cue ball, a very tiny cue ball with a dot on the top of it. And if it doesn't have the dot, you don't get the minerality taste and smell to it. And I thought that was quite interesting to learn that this year. But yeah, it's just, that is a characteristic of a really good Riesling. Why it smells like that and tastes so different, that's probably a sommelier question or a winemaker question.
Is there any other questions from the audience? Because there's a few comments about Elliot, but we won't talk about that. Kim, do you have anything?
Oh. Hey guys, thanks. I just had an announcement that I forgot to make at the beginning. We've added to, and I'm hoping Laszlo can show a screenshot of this on short notice. Late in the day today, we added in a Dutch auction for a mixed case of the wines that we're showcasing tonight. So it's valued over $300. The tickets are $50 each. You can add them to your cart in the auction as a buy now item. And then, you know, you have a 1 in maybe 20 or 50 chance of winning a case of all of these wines. So 3 of each wines that we're showcasing tonight. So it is a Dutch auction. So you pay $50 and, you know, you have a chance to win, and everyone will be given a number. And at the end, we will use an electronic method to select our winner so that it's fair. Can you bring that up, Laszlo, or?
Okay. Hang on. I'm going to try to bring it up, so just give me a moment.
While he's bringing it up, I'll take the chance to talk about just our goal for tonight. So if you've seen our little thermometer on the screen, our goal is $50,000, and we're really close to goal. So we really do hope to meet that. And you know, this is another way that we're raising a little bit of funds tonight. So a beautiful case with 3 of each of the wines tonight. So far, we've sold 9 out of the possible 100 tickets you could buy. We might not sell all 100 of them. And so you have a really good shot at winning a case of these wines. So please give generously and good luck. And then I will turn it over to Laszlo to showcase a little video about our club and what we're raising funds for.
My apologies. All right, little showcase of our club. Now, Elliot,
Yes, sir.
we have another question. It's from David Dooley. He goes, typically we always been told to drink the whites as young as possible, so the freshness of the grapes come through, but whereas the reds you be like aged. So this wine that you explained was a 2016. Could that
Yeah.
also contribute to the aroma?
It does. Yes, a lot of whites are drank young, but there are wines, especially this Riesling. This Riesling, it's a 16. It can be laid down for another probably 9 years. What you're going to find with this Riesling is and you don't want to go over 15 years with this. Normally, what we tell people is if you go 8 to 10 years off the vintage of any wine is where you're going to get the premium taste for especially a red. Some of the whites, like this Riesling, this can be down for about 15 years. And what you're going to find with this one is the color is actually going to start looking like clean motor oil. It's going to take on that real golden look. So it's when you open it, you're going to look at it. It looks like motor oil. It smells like motor oil, and you're going to think, "Oh my God, I've got a horrible bottle of wine." Actually, if you come across a Riesling with those characteristics, you've got gold. That is probably one of the nicest Rieslings you're ever going to taste. So, yes, it is true. Most whites are supposed to be drank young, but there are whites that can be laid down as well and cellared.
Okay. There's another question that was, what's the optimum ranges for aging again for reds and whites?
Like I say, for reds, an unfiltered red, if you go, like I say, 8 to 10 years off of the vintage year, some of them will go longer than that, but a lot of people will forget or they won't write it down, and then all of a sudden you've got a $45 bottle of wine that you left for 12 or 13 years, and it should have only stayed for 10 or 12. And it starts turning on you. That's going to be a sad day losing a $45 friend, right? So at the end of the day, if you just make a rule of thumb of 8 to 10 years from the vintage date is a good rule of thumb to have, so you're not going to lose any of those. But some will go longer, but it depends on the winemaker is probably the best person to tell you, or a sommelier to tell you those exactly. And it differs between each wine, how much filtering has gone into it. We've got one Merlot at our shop here. It's unfiltered, and it's not going to change in the next 5 years. So there's no point laying it down. It's our daily drinker, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. I've been asked to share some more of the auction items just in case anybody's interested. We have a video from Louis Lavoie, who painted a painting for us, and I just got to find that here.
This painting tonight, it's one of the many iconic locations in St. Albert. It was created specifically for your Rotary, and please bid and bid generously.
Cool.
Perfect. Now, Kim had one more thing to say, and then we'll move on to the reds, I believe, everyone.
Right, so a couple things that I wanted to say is that the wines that Elliot and Kalinda are so graciously showcasing tonight are also available to order directly from their wineries. And if you look on the back of your placemat, you will actually find a special number that allows you to purchase wineries directly as part of their wine club, and a wine discount that is only open to the members of this private wine event for a select amount of time. So they do have other wineries, and I think they're going to talk about them later, or other wines that are excellent that they're going to talk about later. So I just wanted to draw your attention to that. And I wanted to mention that if you saw the little thermometer going up, we've hit about the 35,000 mark. So we're about $15,000 away from our goal for tonight, and it's going higher. And there's some really fun bidding going on, and the Rotarians are always very competitive. So get your take a look at those items and be generous and give generous to your community projects. I wanted to showcase a couple of the other big items that we're donating. So every year the Rotary Club does a Rotary Chef's barbecue type of thing. And Laszlo, you can help me with that. I believe it's, did you want to talk? I know you're heavily involved in that.
Sure. So we have three unique items. One of them is a Rotary Chefs. And of course, as soon as COVID settles down, or at least the rules settle down a little bit, Rotary Chefs will cook a meal for 8 people in your home. The other item is a barbecue up for 20 people. We'll either smoke some food or meats for you, or cook barbecue right on your driveway, and that's a big hit. And then this year I've added an extra one. I do a Hungarian goulash or chicken paprikash on your driveway or backyard barbecue fire pit kind of thing. If you're interested in that kind of thing, that bidding is going as well, and it's a lot of fun. So we've never had people get sick. No complaints. Life is as you know it continues on, and we just love doing that kind of stuff for you guys. So bid well if you can.
It's an awesome night, and we really appreciate our Rotary Chefs. They do a great job in the community, and it's a really fun thing to bid on. And also, we have an amazing spa package donated by Divine and Free in St. Albert, a new spa that's just recently opened, who have generously given us a package for 4 ladies to actually get together for a full day of spa. Where you're not breaking any rules because you're allowed to be there, and you get to spend some time together, and I believe have a massage or a pedicure or whatever comes in that package. So again, this is a really signature package, as are the other ones, and I just wanted to draw your attention to them because they're excellent options for you guys to bid on. So I'll turn it back over to our awesome, gracious hosts. Thank you, Elliot and Kalinda.
I have to say one thing regarding the ladies' day at the spa. The question was, is it just for ladies? Yes, but men, bid for your ladies, because then you have the day off as well. So that's something you may definitely want to do. Turning it over to Elliot, please.
All right. So we're going to move on to our reds. Lakeside Cellars 2016 Portage Red. This is a Bordeaux style blend. So it's 44% Cab Franc, 32% Cab Sauv, and 24% Merlot. It's aged in neutral oak for 24 months. So what is a Bordeaux style blend? A lot of you probably know what that is. Some of you may not. So I'll just kind of go through that and let you know what that is. Bordeaux style blends mimic the Bordeaux wines coming out of France. There's 5 varietals that can be in Bordeaux style blends. So it's Cab Sauv, Cab Franc, Merlot, Malbec, and Petit Verdot. There is one more, Carmenere. It's rarely used, but that is a 6th one as well. So Bordeaux style blends can be a combination of any of those varietals. So let's go ahead and pour some in our glass, probably like 1 to 2 ounces again. Put that over there. Oh, sorry, Elliot.
Tasting room associates. Geez, how do you get your job?
I know. I might not have a job after this. Who knows? My boss is watching. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a swirl. And we're just going to go ahead and take a smell and see what we can, what aromas we can identify with. So go ahead. Just a nice couple whiffs here. Definitely for me, I get some red cherry. A little bit of oakiness, a little peppery. You might also notice some blackberry and some plum. Go ahead and take a drink. Just coat your whole mouth with it. Definitely I get the red cherry again. I get the oakiness. A little bit of cedar. It's nice. This is definitely one of our go-to wines. This is one that, you know, kind of everyday drinker, you know, just want a nice bottle of red wine. This is one we reach for a lot. So you can pair this with food though as well. Any braised beef dishes, stew, hamburgers, which we've had it with, potato chips. Definitely,
Chips.
yeah, we've done that. If on your charcuterie, you know, just kind of your medium hard cheeses like your cheddar, Gouda, Colby would go great with this as well. So go ahead and have a few sips of this wine and enjoy some of your cheese on your charcuterie. And I'm just going to mention why these names are called portage. You know, we had the portage white, now we're doing the portage red. Portage is just a name that the owners gave the wines just to give reference and give honor to John Haynes, who, like I said before, was trying to tell you before, was the original owner of the land that the winery is on. So what John Haynes had to do, I mean, he was the first settler in Osoyoos, and as you can imagine, there was nothing here. So he had to build his homestead. So what he did was he went up to the Kelowna area, had to go north to get his lumber and supplies, and they built a raft out of the lumber and sailed the rafts down the Okanagan from Kelowna all the way to OK Falls, and then had to take the raft out of the water and portage it around OK Falls, and then put it back into the river and carry on to Osoyoos. So portage just gives honor to John Haynes and the hardships that he had to endure when he built his homestead. So there's a little tidbit for you guys. So that's that. So we'll move on to the next red.
I had a question for you guys. Regarding that, the deals on the back of the wine sheet, is it a mix and match? Is there other things you can include, or what's going on there?
In intersections it's a mix and match, but it has to be a box of 12. And because you're buying a box of 12, we require a minimum of 6 to get into the wine club. So as soon as you buy that 12, you're automatically entered into the wine club for future wines. I did see that one of our accountant friends, and you know they're always trying to save a dime here or there and get exclusive wines. You know who I'm talking about. If you buy 12 wines, you're into the wine club, and with the code that's on there, there is some wines that are only exclusive to wine club members now, but you're going to be available to get those within that first 12 if you purchase. And it's free shipping to Alberta for this group as well. And Lakeside's, I believe, is similar to that.
Mm-hmm. Similar. It's a mixed case as well.
But it has to be 12. It has to be a full case to ship for free.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Continue.
Good. All right. Well, let's get on to our last red. So, story behind the Cab Franc. This Cab Franc is the reason why I'm actually working at Intersection. When they invited me to come work there, I had told the other tasting room fella, I says, I can't work at a winery unless I really enjoy their wines. And he says, what do you like? And I says, well, I'm a red guy, bold red. And he goes, do you like Cab Franc? And I said, actually, Cab Franc's one of my favorites. And just up the street from us, Hester Creek is one of my go-to wines, and love that one. He brought this over. We drank that bottle that night, the three of us. and I've never gone back. This is, and we've tasted Cod Franc up and down the valley. Right across the street from our house here, Gold Hill grows their Cod Franc. We've and there's another group in the house tonight that actually did a tasting between the three wines, and this one won hands down. It is probably one of the nicest Cod Francs you're ever going to find on the market. This Cod Franc emulates the wines that go back to 2012. As I had mentioned, 2012, they started producing their own wines and became an estate winery. In 2013, their Cab Franc actually won the Lieutenant Governor Award. The wines since then, the 14, 15, and 16, all are very, very close in emulating what that wine is. So let's take a taste of this one. So this is an unfiltered wine. So some of you aren't going to like the, in the bottom of this bottle, because it is unfiltered, you're still going to get some skins. And if you don't have time to let it breathe like we did tonight, or you want to let it breathe a little further, there's these little gizmos that you can get, and they've got a little screen in them. It'll catch the skins, it'll aerate it for you, or you could use a decanter, one of the big wide belly decanters. This Cab Franc, when we were testing it to see how long it could stay open before it turned, it was 28 days in our back room at the tasting room before it started to turn. We put it in a wide body decanter, let it sit there and it was on day 28 that it started to change. So this wine can sit open for quite a long time. Again, cellar this one probably for another 5 years or so. But what you're gonna find when you smell on this one, this is black raspberries, some almost like stewed cherries, those kind of smells, a little bit of green pepper, little minerality in the soils there. Now, when you taste this one, what you're going to find when you taste this one is you're going to get that real jamminess, some really earthy undertones, and it's going to finish with a little bit of almost like a white pepper on your palate. This is my favorite wine, bar none, and it's not just because I work at Intersection. It just stumbled across it with the job, and here it is today. This is the one that if and I know the Rotary chefs are out there, if you're gonna do some smoking or some barbecue, wood or charcoal, a ribeye, nice thick ribeye on charcoal wood smoke, and paired with this, you know, that's all you have to get me for my birthday this year. Mm-hmm. So it is one of our favorites. Like I said, this one is an award winner. Our 2013 is an award winner. We're hoping to win again with this one. Little more about our winery and some of our wines. It's kind of funny that we are known for our Merlot grapes. We grow more Merlot than anything else. However, the 3 different Merlots that we make there, not being able to, when we only had 4 wines to choose from, I didn't want to do 2 Merlots because I could only have 1 red and she was going to have 1. And so our 3 Merlots, we got our Milepost Merlot, which is a filtered red. It's a daily drinker. And it's a very nice wine for pizza, that kind of thing. And it's the price point on it is around $20. It's a really nice bottle of wine for $28. Our other 2 big reds there, it's called the Alluvia and the Silica. And the Alluvia and the Silica, they are the exact same plant. They grow side by each, but the difference is Alluvia and Silica, and To explain what that is soils. So the alluvia are on the Golden Mile bench, which are on the top of our property. And the silica is the sand bottom of the riverbed. And it's amazing that the alluvia, being at a higher location, actually holds more water than the silica that drains and holds less water. What you're going to get is with that same plant, the alluvia, you get a big, juicy, bold Merlot flavor. And the silica, the grapes are smaller, drier, and you get a way more complex flavor. It's crazy that they're the exact same plant, but because of the amount of moisture that's in each of those plants, the difference that it makes in those wines. So I wanted to tell you about those, and I'd love for anybody to come and visit us, and I can take you through a side-by-side taste test of those. That's a ton of fun. The last wine that I want to speak about at Intersection is this one here. And this is our 2014 Axiom. This is a Bordeaux style as well. It's a third Cab Franc, it's a third Merlot, and a third Cabernet Sauvignon. This one here, 2014. So now we've been an estate winery for 2 years. This one was made in 14, but it was laid down and didn't come out until 2019. In 2019, there was competition in BC for who made the nicest Bordeaux style wines. This wine in that competition placed third in BC. There's 2 up in the Naramata bench that took number 1 and 2. This took number 3. Because we placed so high, we were asked to go globally with this, and there was 99 different wines that year that came from around the world to compete. This wine took number 5 in the world. It is our owner, our winemaker are very, very, very proud of this. The 14, there's not a whole bunch. This is a very rare bottle now because they sold out. The 15 is not released yet. However, because of what we're doing here, Moss and Bruce, the fellows that I answer to, said that they would make the 15 available to you guys if you wanted the 15 Axiom. I've tried the 14 and the 15 side by each, because when you work with a winemaker, that's some of the things that I have to do on my job is come in and we taste right from the tank. She'll have a spigot on the side of the tank and we'll taste right off of the tank. And this 15 is very nice. It's as close to the 14 as possible. It's a little bit different, but it's going to be a very nice wine. The 15s would be available to you guys. So we are looking forward to making more wines. There are some wines that are available. Well, yeah, you guys are in Alberta, so these wines are not available to you guys yet, but we are hoping by doing something like this, that this is going to help break that barrier and maybe get some of these wines into the Alberta market. So Clinda's winery also has a similar bottle, and I'll let you speak to your other wines.
I definitely encourage you all to go to the Lakeside website just to see what they offer. They have so many incredible wines, everything from whites to sparkling wines to rosé, and the reds are absolutely fantastic. We have an amazing Cab Franc as well. But my absolute favorite, I'm just going to share with you real quick. It's the Provenir. It is a Bordeaux style blend as well, but it's the reserve wine, and it is absolutely fantastic. If you have the opportunity to try this wine, do it. You will love it. Every time we pull out a Provenir, we're just like, ooh, we're going to have Provenir, because it's just that good. So, like I said, check out the website, see what they have to offer. They're on Facebook or Instagram, all that kind of stuff as well. So check it out, because they're fantastic. And that's all I have to say about that.
There are some questions for you if you want to hear them.
Sure.
What does filtering achieve versus unfiltered, besides the obvious? So, Elliot or Clinda?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, filtering, once you filter the wine, it doesn't stop the aging process, but it certainly slows it down. Unfiltered will continue to age in the bottle as it's laying down. So leaving the skins inside the bottle. Some people don't like that, but you're going to see tannins fall out. You're going to see the skins fall out, that type of thing. And that's left in the bottom of the bottle, or like you say, get one of these. And it just promotes the wine to continue to age within the bottle when it's unfiltered.
Okay. I had some of the comments. You guys make retirement look awesome.
We're loving it out here, although we miss Albert so much. Oh, yes. This is my sign. So after I have some drinks, that's what
Well, I can attest to when you had the two wines, the two different platforms, one the sandy soil and the other soil. That was an amazing evening, Elliot and Clinda. The wines were definitely same grapes, but different soils made amazing difference on the wines. I can attest to that. The other question was, are the wineries still asking for reservations for tasting?
So our winery, we're having a big debate between the five of us that are, and there's only five of us that work at this winery. Like that's how small we are. We only produce 3,000 cases a year. We had a new GM come in, and she wanted to turn things upside down, go into reservation style and a whole different sit downs and different ways of doing and us, and I shouldn't call us the old guys, but the guys that had worked the tasting room for the last couple of years type of thing said, I don't see how that's going to work. However, it works over in their shop. But for us, just the way our winery is set up, we didn't see how it was going to work. And anyways, she left, not because of that. But so we are not at this point in time contemplating doing any reservations other than large groups. We will take them in outside of the tasting room normal operating hours. So in other words, we're open from noon till 5. And so a large group on a reservation, we'd take them in at, say, about 11:30 in the morning and do that kind of reservation. But ours is a first come, first serve at intersection.
Mm-hmm. Now, yeah, we encourage reservations at Lakeside. Our setup's just a little bit different. But we also take walk-ins. I mean, you'll find in the valley here, a lot of wineries are reservation only. And especially if you want to go to a bunch of different wineries, sometimes it gets a little, difficult to kind of time things properly. But a lot of wineries out here, reservations or walk-ins if available. So, yeah. And that's because of COVID. So that's just how it is.
Now, here's a unique question for you guys. Do either of your wineries do sparkling bold red?
No.
Do you do white?
We have a sparkling. Yeah, we have a patchwork brut. So it's a sparkling, like a sparkling wine, white wine.
Whatever that is.
Excellent. Is there any more questions out there for anyone? Meanwhile, I'll open up to Kim or even Mark.
Sure, awesome. So thank you, Elliot and Kalinda. This has been fantastic. We did some research in the fall coming out to the Okanagan and tasting some wines, and this has far surpassed our expectations for an awesome online first Rotary wine tasting event, largely thanks to you guys. And of course, in thanks to that and in a show of our appreciation, we have made a donation to your Rotary Club in your name. So thank you very much for the night. And we miss you terribly. And it was great to have you from afar here to be a part of this. We really appreciate it from the bottom of all of our hearts. It's good to have you back to do it. It's been so fun. So I'll just take a quick moment to remind everyone again that the auction closes at 11. And that again, if you get onto the Octria site, the same place that you got your tickets from, and you click on auction, that's where you can bid on everything. Also, you can buy a flag. Also, you can hit the donation button. Also, you can buy a Dutch auction pass to go in on the wine, which I think we're about to auction off pretty quickly here, Laszlo.
Oh, not yet. I'm going to let people buy tickets for that, but it does close at 9 o'clock. So after 9 o'clock, we'll do a random draw for that. So
perfect, thanks. So I'm going to tell a little story about before we close the night. Tell a quick story about the first wine tasting we did online in a few months ago with the club from Edson. So in the middle of the wine tasting, someone rang our doorbell and we had to go to the door. And we had our charcuterie tray sitting out on the table, and my dog jumped up on the table and ate the entire charcuterie tray. And it was a really expensive vet bill the next morning. So note to self, tonight we say, make sure we leave nothing on the table so our dog doesn't eat it when we're distracted. And Peter made me a beautiful smoked salmon meal tonight. And when I turned around, the dog ate all of my salmon. So we've learned nothing. We've drank too much. We've had a lot of fun. And this has been a fantastic event. So don't let the fun stop here. I see I've been outbid on many of the things that I've been bidding on all night. And I'm going to beat you suckers at this. And so, because I'm competitive. And it's all for a good cause for the Rotary Club. And Mark, do you have any last minute things that you want to talk about before we close the event? Or Laszlo?
I'm just so over the moon thrilled about how this evening turned out and everybody that showed up and the great job that Elliot and Kalinda did, and Kim, you and your committee, and Laszlo for doing all of the MC stuff. It's such a feat and such a testament to this group. So thank you to everyone who came out tonight.
And thank you again to all of our sponsors for the night. Thank you to all of the Rotarians who donated for the auction, who bought tickets, who asked their friends, to all of our friends of Rotary who are here tonight, who bought a ticket and came to the event. And just thank you to everybody. If I've forgotten anybody, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for making this event a fun night and a success. And I know the barometer or the thermometer is going to get to 50,000. So thank you all for your time and for sharing your evening with us, and have a good night.
I've allowed anybody to unmute if they want to chat, and I can leave some rooms open if you like. So just let me know.